So we're still thinking ahead, and now that we know what our inputs and outputs are going to be, and we've got some methods set up, and we've thought a little bit about what preconditions and postconditions are, and do realize at this point back in the programming, I haven't just been thinking ahead, I've been doing it to show you what these things are. But anyway, thinking ahead, we also need to consider what things can go wrong. This is one of the most important parts of programming. You spend as much time considering the exceptions as you do doing the regular programming. More on that later, but just realize this is a tremendously important part of good programming. What are the exceptions? What are the problems that could happen in this sort of a program? Well, we've already identified one, and that is dividing by 0. That would be a problem. And what was the other one I was thinking there might be? Yeah, the format. What would happen if we were to run this program? In fact, let's just do that. And instead of typing in numbers, what if we were to type in letters? There we go. So it's actually going to tell us the error. It's number format exception. Okay. There's a class out there in Java called number format exception, which is able to handle this sort of an error. So what we're going to do up here, and this is getting way beyond where you would normally be at this point in learning programming, but for what it's worth, just try to soak this up a little bit. Normally, normally NetBeans will do it for you, but we're gonna hard code it. Try. Do a try. You go try all this. Okay, inside this block, and all that gets tabbed in. You try it, and if an error happens, and the error that's likely to happen is this number format exception error, you're going to catch the error with a catch block. Catch. What you're going to catch is this kind of a exception. And we'll call it E as normally, or EX. We're going to catch that EX exception, and we're going to do something with it. We're going to go, well, let's just see what it can do. This is jumping a little bit ahead too, but EX can do all those things. So let's print stack trace. You don't know what that is, but that's a good thing to do. And another thing that I'm going to do simply is I'm going to sout, well, there was an error, the kind of number attempted to be input. And that's good enough. So it is possible that in running this program that there would be an error, an exception, because the person did not type in a number, they typed in letters. And so how do we handle that exception in Java? The way that I just did, more on it later, but that's one exception. The other exception, just generally globally that we could think of in running this program, is one that we already have, and I think that would be an arithmetic exception. Let me just do a quick search for Java arithmetic exception. See what comes up. Arithmetic exception. That's probably what it is. It's probably just, yeah, division by 0. There you go. Yeah, and I know what he's looking at. That's what. Anyway, arithmetic exception is what we're going to use. So down here, we're going to do a try. And we're going to try all this. And again, we want to tab it over inside a new block. And then if it doesn't work, it's going to catch the error. And the error is going to be arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. We'll call it EX again. And again, we'll see what this EX does. All these things, we'll print the stack trace, and we'll also do the same sort of thing. So there was an arithmetic exception, and it was probably by 0, because that's the one thing that could happen here. About the only thing that could happen here, frankly. that would be an arithmetic exception. And just one more thing, since we've implemented this, now let's see what would happen if we tried to type in letters instead of numbers. Right, same thing, only now we actually get the error message, and if we were to actually make this into a program and put it on another computer, it wouldn't freeze, rather this would be printed out. So we have considered two kinds of exceptions, two kinds of issues that could happen when making this program.